The day finally ends, and Shinichiro remembers that he has never been so angry before. However, he feels he did the right thing. After all, it's unacceptable that someone tried to steal his mom's money. But he doesn't dwell on it anymore, and for now, he wants to focus on his library work with Haruka. He enters the library and sees her standing by the window, gazing at the scenery. Shinichiro feels blessed to be spending time with a girl like her. Upon noticing him, Haruka greets him with a bright smile, and they begin organizing the activities for the day. They start checking the records, and Haruka grows worried upon seeing so many overdue books. Shinichiro suggests putting the names of the students who are always late in the school announcement, startling Haruka since she doesn't want to upset anyone. Shinichiro adds that first they will issue a warning, and if the books aren't returned in a week, then they'll proceed with the announcement. That was how he usually worked at his old office. If deliveries were delayed even after reminder emails, he would also copy their bosses and co-workers, making even the laziest employees rush out of shame. Shinichiro keeps explaining his strategy, saying he can handle anyone who tries to cause trouble, and immediately realizes his working attitude is slipping out. He worries again, thinking Haruka might be displeased with his plan, but reality is far from it. Haruka is deeply impressed by his way of talking and thinking, as if he were a completely different person. Yet she still knows that he's the same Shinichiro. She had always noticed his behavior when dealing with students borrowing books and how he used to organize the library to make things easier for readers. Shinichiro is taken aback upon realizing that Haruka had always paid attention to him. She is impressed by how much he has changed just from the way he speaks and decides to give his idea a try. She's already outgoing, but she doesn't want to keep being treated like a child by her parents, making Shinichiro look at her with a faint smile. But Haruka doesn't like the fact that he seems to be looking at her as if he were a proud father watching his child. Shinichiro promises he isn't, putting on a facade he learned as an adult. He was simply happy to have normal conversations with Haruka. They finally finish their duties, and Shinichiro stays behind for a while, closing up the library and thinking that the two of them really make a good team. He starts leaving when he hears shouts coming from a different corridor in the school. Upon approaching, he sees Haruka being harassed by 3 girls. He immediately recognizes them. It's the group of Hanayama, 3 girls obsessed with boys and money who hate anyone prettier than them. One of them tells Haruka she should stop flirting with men, cut her hair, and stop using makeup. Haruka casually reveals that she doesn't use makeup, sparking fury from the other girl whose face is covered in it. But before she can do anything, Shinichiro appears and tells her to stop at once. Haruka smiles upon seeing him, but the girl immediately tells him to get lost. He instantly remembers that kind of woman even in his old office. Those who use their charm with co-workers while bullying women more attractive than them. Shinichiro remains firm, asking her again to stop, and the girl mocks him, asking what a loser like him could possibly do. He asks her if the North Station rings a bell, especially the hotel area. This phrase makes the girl freeze in fear, and she demands to know how he knows about it. He casually says that he came across her business, which is a lie, since it actually got exposed in their last year at school, leading to her expulsion. Shinichiro calmly adds that he doesn't care about it, but if she keeps bothering Haruka, her secret might get out. The girl rushes away with her group, telling them to forget about those two, while Shinichiro displays a proud smile. Haruka is deeply grateful and asks how she can repay him. However, Shinichiro tells her not to worry. He only appeared because he heard voices in the school. He asks if someone is going to pick her up, but Haruka reveals that she told her parents she wanted to walk home like the rest of her classmates. Naturally, he offers to walk her home. Inwardly, he is nervous, but his old job had forged him a tough exterior. Shinichiro wanted to be there for her after the incident. She still looked shaken, and it wouldn't be right to let her walk alone at night. Haruka is overjoyed by the offer and says she'd love him to walk her home. For a moment, Shinichiro thought he would be labeled as a creep, but upon seeing her smile, all his worries disappeared. They start walking towards Haruka's home, chatting about light novels as if they were old friends. In his previous life, Shinichiro walked with women, but only when it was related to his job. However, this time, he can enjoy Haruka's smile since she probably doesn't have anyone else to share conversations about light novels with. Haruka realizes that she's been talking too much and apologizes, but Shinichiro is glad that she's feeling better. Haruka thanks him again for his help and reveals that she had been harassed like that multiple times, always by other girls since elementary school. However, she doesn't understand why those girls hate her. Shinichiro understands that she truly doesn't know. She probably has never experienced jealousy. He calmly tells her that it would be better for her to know the reasons, and Haruka begs him to explain. Shinichiro casually mentions that she is very kind and beautiful, making Haruka blush instantly. She tries to deny all of that, but Shinichiro continues his compliments, saying that she's the only one unaware of it. He tells her that the harassment is not her fault and asks her to repeat that 10 times to herself. And due to her innocence, Haruka starts repeating that it isn't her fault while Shinichiro thinks that this will help her in the future. Due to his experience, he has seen that many bullied people end up blaming themselves for the abuse, and that was probably the cause for Haruka to take her own life in the original timeline. Haruka repeats the phrase 10 times, and Shinichiro tells her that every time another girl bullies her, she has to remember that it is never her fault. Haruka can't take her eyes away from him, and he asks her what's on her mind. She mentions that she's surprised he's so serious about the topic, making Shinichiro reaffirm that he hates seeing her going through hardships. Her voice starts trembling, but she manages to ask him if he was serious when he said all those things about her looks. Shinichiro is unaware of the situation he's in, and with a smile says that when he first met her, he couldn't believe such a beautiful girl existed, making her even more nervous and red-faced. After a while, they arrive at Haruka's house, and Shinichiro is surprised to see that she lives in such a huge place. Haruka bows and thanks him again for all his help. He tries to be modest, but Haruka is beyond grateful. She would be very sad if it weren't for him. Shinichiro tells her that if she needs someone to talk to, he would be more than happy to listen. At that moment, he realizes he's been acting as his previous self and says farewell with a smile. Walking home, Shinichiro is glad that his corporate years helped him talk with Haruka. His mission now is to change her future by teaching her how to face the harsh reality of the world. After a while, he returns home and finds Kanako, his younger sister, who asks him why he is looking so strangely at her. Shinichiro remembers that they used to talk less and less over the years, and after their mom passed away, they never exchanged another word. Shinichiro tries to change the topic, asking Kanako if she's planning to have instant ramen for dinner, which she confirms since their mom will get home late. Without a second thought, he tells her that he will cook something for her, surprising Kanako. Shinichiro opens the fridge and immediately knows what to make. He starts cooking like a professional while Kanako can't believe her brother is so skilled in the kitchen. Shinichiro presents her with summaries, while Kanako is still unsure if she's dreaming. Shinichiro tells her to eat while it's hot and she takes a bite. Kanako's expression fills with joy upon tasting the food, but upon noticing her brother watching her, she starts pretending as if the food was just okay. While she's eating, Shinichiro starts apologizing for never acting as her older brother. But from that day on, he'll try to make up for it by cooking in their mom's stead. And she can even ask him for her favorite meals, making Kanako wonder if she's really talking to her brother. Meanwhile, in Haruka's room, she's looking at the ceiling, thinking about Shinichiro. She always considered him a good and quiet guy, but that day she noticed a special brightness in him as if he was a completely different person. She remembers how he casually told her how beautiful he thinks she is, and Haruka can't help but blush again. She looks outside her window, thinking about how sad she used to get at home after being bullied. But today was different, all thanks to Shinichiro, who had the right words to lift her spirits and make her realize that it wasn't her fault. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.